Hi guys, it's Steffi and welcome to my September Books and Bookish Things haul. So, in the month of September, it was my birthday, so this is technically a birthday bookish haul, except no one actually bought me any books. They gave me vouchers, and so I spent them, and some of my own money. This is quite a large book haul. There are 20 books, and there are also a couple of bookish things, so I thought I would start with the bookish things and get them out of the way first, and then get into the books. Behind the Pages released their book boyfriend lip balms. So I picked up Rowan and Rhysand. I really like the Rowan one, but the Rhysand one is my favourite. It just smells gorgeous. So Rhysand was citrus and jasmine, and Rowan was pine and snow. So these are really, really good. I also picked up 3 more bookmarks from The Bookmarked on Etsy. I picked up her Court of Thorns and Roses bookmark. So it has one side, oh, I'm holding the other ones. So it has one side that's the thorns and the rose from ACOTAR, and then the moon and the star representing the Night Court, which is a little bit more Akamaki. I got the little elephant. He was on sale, so I picked up the little elephant because you can always use more ribbon bookmarks. And then I also picked up the Ravenclaw bookmark as well. And this one did have a little gem on the end, but I think I broke it. I have to find it and reattach it. But it's gorgeous. You can tell that I've been using it because I've already broken it. I also picked up some bookish jewellery during the month, so if you haven't already seen it, my Fandom of the Month Ravenclaw box, I should have already uploaded it. If I have, I'll pop a link to it somewhere up here. But I also picked up these 3 separate necklaces from Lavisa here in Australia, and I'm calling them my Night Court necklaces because they're all stars and moons and they're very pretty. And I've forgotten the name of this store, but I will pop it on the screen. But I picked up, well, this one isn't really book related. I picked up a Stargate necklace because I'm Stargate trash, basically. It was my favourite show growing up, and this was really pretty. But the book one that I did pick up from the same store was this Rhysand inspired one. So it's a little bat, a little black heart, which is kind of hard to see, and little stars. So that's really pretty. So I think that's it for bookish things. However, I'm going to start in on my books. And I will preface this with saying that because it's so many books, I'm not going to spend too much time going into them, but also because I don't tend to find out a lot about books before I start reading them. I like to be surprised. So that's another reason why. I picked up Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I wasn't thrilled with City of Bones. It was just okay, but I've heard that the other series are better, and I know people say to read them through in publication order, blah, blah, blah. If I have to sit through 6 books like City of Bones, I'm probably never going to get around to it. So I thought I'd pick this one up, give it a shot, because is it a prequel? I'm pretty sure it's a prequel. If it's a prequel, it's not going to kill me to read it first. Then I picked up the next 3 books in the Lunar Chronicles. So I picked up Scarlet, which I just finished reading, and I will have a review for this up soon. It will also be in my end of month wrap up, but I really like this book. I really like the characters. I picked up Cress, which I really want to start reading soon, and Winter, which is huge. Huge books freak me out just a little bit. I also picked up Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. The first book in the Grisha trilogy. I've read Six of Crows, and I keep hearing people talking about the Grisha trilogy, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I've actually not paid too much attention about what the series is about. I know it's about the Grisha because I've read, Six of Crows, but I'm curious just to read through it and see what it's about and what it's like. I also picked up Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rush, and this is a book that I keep hearing about on BookTube, and it gets lots of really good reviews, so I was really pleasantly surprised to be able to find it because I hadn't been able to find it anywhere, so I'm going to give that a go. I also picked up Two Boys Kissing by David Levithan. This one I saw in Kirsty from Melbourne on My Mind's videos, and she highly, highly recommended it, and I did like David Levithan's writing when I read You Know Me Well, so I thought I would give this a shot because she recommended it. Next one I picked up from another BookTube recommendation. This one was from Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, and it is a science fiction book, The Three-Body Problem, by, I'm going to butcher this name because I'm not really good with Mandarin at all, but I did look up the pronunciation, so apologies in advance. I think it's Cixin Liu. I don't know. I'm trying. But this is a science fiction book that was translated by Ken Liu from Mandarin to English. And yeah, it sounds really, really interesting. I don't think I've read anything like it. It's a Chinese-based science fiction novel. and it won the 2015 Hugo Award for Best Novel. So I think that'll be really interesting. I think Sam was thinking of doing a read-along, or she was seeing if anyone would be interested in a read-along. And I said, yeah, absolutely, because I'm really liking sci-fi at the moment. I also picked up Empire of Storms, like pretty much every other YA reader on BookTube. I have finished it. I mean, I can't say much about it anyway because it's the 5th book / 6th book in a series, so there's spoilers. It was good. It wasn't my favourite of the series, so but I did enjoy reading it, and it does have a really good ending. I can't wait to see how Sarah wraps up the series. What I will say is my absolute favourite character from this series is Manon, and she rocks, and read it just for her. The next 2 books I picked up from Book Depository, which is the first time I've ever ordered from them. So I picked up Angel Fool by Susan E. because I am trash for any angel themed books, basically. And this one didn't disappoint. I have read it, I really loved it, and I can't wait to read the rest of the series. The next one that I picked up from Book Depository was The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and I picked this up because I ended up with a e-galley copy of A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers, and it's the companion book to this one. I wanted to read this one first, and this one has come so highly recommended. I read it, I loved it. I think this is going to take out top place for one of my favourite books of the year. I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up. Next, I received an ARC copy of Fearless by Fiona Higgins from Allen and Unwin, and I won this on a giveaway on Goodreads. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one. I know it takes place in Bali, and that's about all I know about it. I know it'll be different to other things that I've read, so will be a good change. I'm going to try and read this next month. I also picked up Star Wars Bloodline by Claudia Gray because I love Star Wars books. Big Star Wars fan. I have a whole collection of Star Wars books, and I can't wait till I move into my apartment and I can set up my books and I can show you guys my Star Wars books. But I've been eyeing this one off for ages and ages and ages, and I saw it in Target, I think, and it was the cheapest I'd seen it, so I picked it up. I also picked up Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. It is the second book in the Six of Crows. I thought it was meant to be 2 books. I'm hoping that it's 2 books. I went to Dimmicks in the morning and they didn't have it, and I got really upset, and then I went to another Dimmicks in the afternoon and they had it. And I was talking to the lady about how they didn't have it in the morning, how another store didn't have it in the morning, and they said, well, they've been getting their deliveries in the afternoon, so that's rather annoying if you're waiting for a book to come out. But good to know, because then you won't go first thing and be disappointed like I was. The next group of books I picked up with a voucher that I got for my birthday from my students, and it was for an independent bookstore where I used to live, and I'd forgotten how much I love this bookstore because it is tiny and it is full. Like floor to ceiling, tables everywhere, very little walk space, full of books. And I went in there with my list, and there were some things on the list that I thought, oh yeah, they're pretty common, I should be able to find them. There were some things that I left off my list because I'm like, there's no way in hell they'll have them. Guys, they had them. Well, some of them anyway. So one thing that I had on my list was The Call by Peter O'Gillan. Sorry if I butchered that. This one sounds really interesting. I'm going to read you the blurb because I think that'll explain it a little bit better. So your people drove them out of their homes. Thousands of years later, they turn up again and they're going to wipe you out. 3 minutes. On her birthday, Nessa finds out the terrible truth about her homeland island, the truth that will change her forever. 2 minutes. That she and her friends must train for the most dangerous 3 minutes of their lives. The call. 1 minute. That any day now, without warning, they will wake in a terrifying land, alone and hunted, with a 1 in 10 chance of returning alive. And it is Nessa, more than anyone, who is going to need every ounce of guts, wit and sheer spirit she was born with, if she and the nation are to survive. To me, it sort of sounds a bit like The Maze Runner, and a bit like, oh gosh, what was the book that I read? Children of Icarus, that's set in Ireland, and I'm really curious to read this. Sounds like a good October read. I also picked up Corruption by Jessica Shervington. I did pick up Disruption, which is the first book in the series, in the duology, but because I had my voucher and I saw it there, I thought I'd pick it up so that when I get to Disruption, I can just marathon the 2 of them. This is one of the books that I was really surprised to see in this store because I was just looking around and I was looking at the general fiction shelves just to see what there was. And I saw World After by Susan E., which is the second book in the Angel Fall series. Now, I had never, ever, ever seen any of Susan E.'s books in bookstores that I'd been to. And that's why I ordered one off Book Depository. But there this one was, face out, staring me in the face. And I went, thank you, I'll take that. This was the second book that I was completely shocked to see in this bookstore, and it was Black Widow Forever Read by Margaret Stoll, because I've been wanting this for ages since I found out that it existed, and I've not seen it anywhere. But there it was, sitting in this little independent bookstore with their comic books, and I went, thank you, I'll take that. I really love Natasha Romanoff, and I really cannot wait to read this to find out a bit more about her story. And I think, is there a second one to this? I think there's a second book. So I'm really excited because she really needs her own movie. But in the absence of a movie, I'll take a book. Picked up another Star Wars book, Star Wars Aftermath, by Chuck Wendig. I mean, I don't know too much about this, but I think it is, yeah, it's the events after Return of the Jedi for The Force Awakens, I think. Anyway, I've been eyeing this off for ages. Star Wars books are not cheap because of the branding, probably. The word on the blurb that finally pushed me over the edge with buying this with my voucher was Wedge Antilles, who is my favourite character in the book series. This will be read soon. I also picked up Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I have read a couple of Neil Gaiman's books, but I have really wanting to get into some of his other ones. So I've read Good Omens, which he wrote with Terry Pratchett, and I've read The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and I've read Coraline. I don't know, I just thought this sounded like a good one to start with. Another October read. It's Neil Gaiman. We like Neil Gaiman. And the last book that I picked up was, again, a recommendation by Kirsty on Melbourne on My Mind, and that was Stan Grant Talking to My Country, this one's a non-fiction book. Stan Grant, I think, is a journalist here in Australia. He's Indigenous, and this was his reaction and reflection on events that happened surrounding one of our Indigenous football players, Adam Goodes, and the racism that he faced while he was playing. And it just sounds like a really interesting read, and I think it sounds like an important read, and I'm really glad that I found it. And it's a beautiful hardcover book. Ooh, it's green, and it has... Oh, that's so pretty. So that is everything. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick up all of the books. Let me see. That's one pile. And that's the second pile. I didn't do that very well. This one's a lot smaller than the other one. Okay, guys, that was everything in my September bookish birthday haul. Let me know if you've read any of these books before and what you thought of them, or if you have any suggestions for where I should start, because that's a lot of books. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day. Don't forget to let me know down below what you are currently reading or what your best bookish buy was for this month. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.